Senior year, somebody pulled the most evil school prank anyone has ever seen. It started during first period in math class. Dead quiet, the teachers are writing notes on the board, and out of nowhere, faintly, you heard Baby Shark Song. What is that? The whole class looks up, the teacher stops writing. Whoever's playing that, turn it off! Then the music cuts off and everyone's confused for a second. Then 10 minutes later it happens again, but it's louder this time. Yo, what is going on? This time, it wouldn't stop. The song was on repeat. People are laughing, the teachers are losing their minds, and the staff is looking for where this is coming from. Nobody could find it. And then a little bit later, it gets worse. The song is playing everywhere. It's obviously coming from multiple different speakers. In the science room, in the bathrooms, above the cafeteria, and every single speaker is synced together. And it disrupts the entire school day because kids can't focus, teachers can't teach. Every time they find one speaker, the other ones get louder. Apparently, the seniors had hidden these Bluetooth speakers in ceiling tiles, nooks, crannies behind lockers. There was even one in the trophy case. It took almost 3 full hours to find each and every one of them. Let's just say every single student and teacher in that school had Baby Shark stuck in their head for at least a month after that. That, my friends, is genius. There was a kid at school named Max, and they called Max the raccoon. Yo, what's up? Because Max could find furniture anywhere. Didn't matter what it was. Gaming chairs, mini fridges, lamps, half a trampoline one time, and whenever someone asked where he got it, he would always say, the curb, or garbage can behind Jewel. Now behind the school was this tiny little forest area that students were technically banned from going into, which obviously made kids want to go in there more. But one day, Max decides, I'm gonna build a hangout in the woods. So at first, he drags out 2 lawn chairs and a milk crate. Then the next week, there's a couch and a rug. Then somehow, a standing lamp connected to a generator. Every day after school, this dude is dragging more and more furniture out to this hangout spot, and it's looking awesome. And kids began to hang out there every day. Portable speakers, Uno games, snacks, the mini fridge. By springtime, there was multiple couches, Christmas lights. It was a complete vibe. People would literally say, hey, you going to Max's place later? And by that, they meant the woods. Teachers had no idea this existed until one day a janitor went back there and discovered what looked like a fully furnished living room hidden behind the school in a patch of trees. He gets the principal walks back there. What is... Oh my God. He had everything removed. But he did say, that's impressive. And it was impressive. Every winter, this one patch of ice formed outside the side entrance of the school, and nobody ever salted it. And kids figured out something fast. If you hit it at full speed and land just right, you'll just keep on sliding. It was this long stretch that if executed properly, kids could just slide for what seemed like ever. Groups of people were doing it every morning. Yo! A pile of backpacks here and a line of kids here. It wasn't easy. Some kids wiped out. Some kids went pretty far. Well, one kid showed up, he took it way too seriously. Before and after school, he shows up with 2 of his biggest buddies. And if somebody wanted to slide on this ice, they had to give him something. What you got? Well, you're in my math class. I'll give you the answer to tomorrow's homework. Deal. He would then let them go and mark down how far they went. 15 feet, 18 feet, 25 feet. Now, everyone's showing up with offerings to get in line to try to beat the best record. This kid's getting tons of snacks, homework answers, random items. That's when one angry janitor sees what's going on, and he's like, oh, I can't have this. So every morning he begins salting it. That forgotten ice patch was no more. But for that time, it was awesome. Hector's driving to work one morning when he sees something on his dashboard. It's a jumping spider, and Hector does not do spiders. So immediately he's freaking out. The car's swerving. It's dangerous. He's trying to keep one eye on the road and one eye on this thing. Then the spider disappears somewhere in the windshield. He's gone. For now. The next morning, Hector gets in the car to go to work, and the spider's back. This time, Hector kind of sighs. He's like, all right, just stay there, okay? And weirdly, after a while, he gets used to it. That spider's there every morning. Oh, hey, morning, buddy! Sometimes on the dash, sometimes on the radio knob. And eventually, Hector starts talking to it on his way to work. Man, it's good to see you today. I didn't sleep well last night, but I think with some coffee, I'll be good. If traffic was bad, look at this idiot. That's what I'm saying. If he's late, we're not gonna make it on time today, buddy. At one point, Hector doesn't see him for a few days. He gets worried, but then he pops back up. Oh, hey, there you are. I missed you. Now it's a part of the routine. It's been about a week since he met the spider, and it's his buddy now. One day, he's driving his wife to work. She gets in the car, and she sees the spider. All right, let's go. Ah! Oh, no, that's just... Ew. Don't worry, he's dead now. His wife just killed his best friend, and he's actually devastated. The ride to church is pretty quiet. His wife finally says, "Are you seriously mad at me right now?" And he just cries. "You rode with me every single day this past week. He was my best friend. Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace." Man, that's sad. There was a kid in class that never talked, always sitting by himself staring ahead. One day, the kid next to him is trying to be friendly, and he noticed he's got a headphone in underneath his hat. "Hey man, what you listening to?" Maybe it was music, maybe it was a podcast, he doesn't know. Kid slowly pulls out one earbud and hands it over. Okay, that's weird, but the kid takes it, puts it in his own ear. Oh, you want me to listen? Okay. At first, he thinks it's broken. Then he hears it. 481, 482. What is it's just some guy's voice counting. Kid then pulls out his phone and shows him. The video on his phone said, "British guy counting to 5,000. "Oh, nice, man. Why do you listen to this stuff?" And all the kid said to him was, "None of your freaking business, bro." 496. That is so weird. Who knows what tabletopping is? When I was in school, tabletopping was this kind of dangerous thing where you would get on your hands and knees behind somebody and your friend would push them down over you. Okay, I'm not recommending it, but this one school got a brand new teacher fresh out of college. It was literally his first week there, but he looked like a 16-year-old. "What's up? I'm Mr. Johnson." So one day during passing period, he's walking through the hallways carrying his bag. And on this particular day, this group of kids were going around tabletopping people. So they figured, hey, that's a student, let's tabletop him. Yo, next victim. Perfect. So these goofballs decide to go for it. One of them gets in front of him and says, "Hey, what's up, bro?" Hey. While the other gets behind him on all fours, and he pushes. He falls down, and he breaks his arm, and that's when the students can see his staff badge. "Bro, that's a teacher." "What? I could have sworn it was a freshman." Teacher is screaming, his arm is broken half. Office gets called. These kids literally get suspended. They were almost expelled. But that poor teacher, he was actually bullied for that entire year. That's just not right. "No chewing gum in my class." Ah, rats. Marcus gets caught chewing gum by one of the super strict teachers. "Marcus, spit it out." Now, most people would just take their gum and walk it to the trash can. But not Marcus. He's too cool for that. So he takes the gum out, he stands up slowly, he looks at the garbage can across the room. Watch this. Whole class locks in, trying to see if he's gonna make the shot. He launches it. Perfect arc. It's going. At the very last second, the gum curves and gets stuck in the quiet kid's hair. Everybody's horrified. They're waiting for this quiet kid to freak out. But the kid never talks and he barely even reacts to this. He slowly reaches up. He touches the gum. It's not coming out easy. It's stuck in there pretty good. Then he calmly opens his backpack and pulls out a pair of scissors. And without saying a single word, he just cuts that chunk of gum right out of his hair. He sets the gum on his desk, puts the scissors back in his backpack, zips it up, and then he puts the hairy wad of gum in his mouth and starts chewing it. Goes right back to taking notes. The strict teacher's like, "You know what? He can chew it. I'm not dealing with that." Yeah, that kid's pretty weird. I hate braces. Mikey got braces right before freshman year, and he really didn't want anybody to notice. So the whole summer, this dude's in the mirror practicing, smiling with his lips closed, talking differently. "Hi, my name's Mikey, how are you?" Laughing without showing teeth. Fully rehearsing these facial expressions. First day of school, he thinks he's got it under control. Then English class happens. Also, Mikey's mouth was messed up. He had those rubber bands in different places. Well, the teacher asks a question, calls on Mikey. "So Mikey, what do you think they did with all the cows?" And Mikey responds something that made himself laugh. "They made milk." He smiles big, his braces are showing, but one of those rubber bands that he has connected to his braces comes loose and just straight to the front of the room. Right into the teacher's eye. What was that? Oh no! It came out of Mikey's mouth. It was so unfortunate. Mikey was in the front row. Truly a freak accident. But Mikey was bullied for like a month. Poor guy. "Hey Johnny, come to the bonfire next week." Awesome. Johnny was invited to one of the popular kids' bonfires, and this was a big moment for him. He was hyped. He decided he wanted to be the bonfire guitar guy. You know, the guy that would sit by the fire and play songs and everyone tells him how cool he is. So he buys a guitar with money from his first job. He spends that entire week practicing. Okay. Not too bad. They're gonna love this. Fingers shredding, watching tutorials. He's pretty decent. kind of a natural. And finally, it's the big bonfire night. Like 20 kids there. They're all sitting around. Johnny brought his guitar. He sees his opportunity. Hey, you guys mind if I play a song for you? All right, man. Yeah, go for it. Okay, Johnny. Yeah, play us a song. So he starts playing, and he's actually killing it. Whoa, he's pretty good. Yeah, he is. People are impressed. Then he gets a little too confident. Starts going a little crazier. Fully dramatic rock star mode when all of a sudden, snap! One of the strings breaks and flies up and whips him right in the eye. And in a pure moment of panic, he just throws the guitar off him. Everyone goes silent. Johnny gets his composure. He realizes there's way too many people here for him to be freaking out. He's gonna look like a loser. But when he opens his eyes, he realizes he threw his guitar into the bonfire. And now the guitar is burning like firewood. No one said a word for about 30 minutes. They just sat around that fire warming themselves up with Johnny's guitar he bought to impress everybody. He never lived that down, and he wasted $200 on that guitar. That's nuts. He was a kid. His mom dragged him to the nearest 7-Eleven. I don't want to go. Well, that's too bad. Well, they get there. She goes in the store, but he waits outside. He then sees this older, strange-looking guy sitting against a wall. Hey, want to see something cool? And he's a kid, so he said yes. Of course he wants to see something cool, which you should never do. The man then smiles, and then pulls off a prosthetic leg and showed this kid his leg stump. Look at this. The leg stump had a very weird smiley face drawn on it in Sharpie. The kid absolutely freaks out. That's not cool. The man then panics because I guess he had good intentions. Oh, no, wait, look, it's actually cool, look. The kid's now ugly crying. The mom runs out of the store. What's going on? His leg. The man's embarrassed. The mom's freaking out at him. I don't know why he showed the kid his leg stump anyway, but she went home with her kid. And years later, when he sees a 7-Eleven, he freaks out a little bit still.
Hey, Mrs. Stevens, Johnny's my best friend. Yay.
No, the heck he's not. This school had one of the weirdest rules ever. Nobody's allowed to have a best friend. I mean, I guess it wasn't officially, but every single time, if two kids got too close, teacher would step in and separate them. At first, nobody notices the pattern, but if a teacher sees these two students sitting by each other every day, you, come here.
What'd I do?
You're not sitting by Johnny anymore. Their desks get moved. The kids are laughing together too much. I think you two need some space. And everyone's like, why does this keep happening? But it gets worse. I guess teachers start clocking who is friends with who, and during recess, they send them out separately. Okay, Billy, you go first, okay? You stay here. Not until Billy's done. You guys are not hanging out together. Teachers are trying to stop kids from getting too attached. This was their logic. If kids had a close friend, they wouldn't socialize with other people. So instead of letting friendships happen naturally, they treated it like a freaking problem. To me, is messed up. She got the question right. No, she didn't. This girl comes home from elementary school one day. She's genuinely upset over one quiz question that she got wrong. I wrote here that a tomato is a fruit. Sweetheart, a tomato is a fruit. You got that question right. And yeah, a tomato is scientifically a fruit. End of discussion. So the dad writes a note to the teacher. Hi, my daughter got this question wrong. Well, technically she is correct. A tomato is indeed a fruit. Thank you. The next day, his daughter comes home. Hey, Dad, she wrote you back. This is what the note said. She writes this. Well, a tomato is technically a fruit because it is used like a vegetable. We are teaching students that it is a vegetable. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. The dad's just sitting there for a second like, you're literally purposefully teaching students the wrong thing. A couple weeks later, that school has an open house. All the parents are invited and that teacher is there. He walks up to her. Hi, I'm Mr. Johnson. Hi. So, what other completely false things are you teaching my daughter? She was stunned. Have a good night. Honestly, that makes no sense. Whatever you do, be cool. Dominic spent the entire summer preparing for middle school. He studied the map and he memorized hallways. He wanted to know where he was going because his one goal was he didn't want to look like a lost sixth grader on the first day. So the morning comes, he's got his backpack on and he's nervous. I'm nervous, but I'm ready. First class of the day is Spanish, and the Spanish class is all the way down in the 8th grade hallway, which already feels terrifying. So he's walking through and there's older kids everywhere. And when you're in 6th grade, the 8th graders seem huge. He's walking down the hallway. He's feeling good. He's acting cool. And then he sees a group of older girls, and his confidence kind of takes over. These girls have perfect hair. They're laughing. They're leaning on their lockers. So I told them, get lost. That's an insane thing to say. Did he cry? He decides to try to play it cool. He says hi to the girls, smiles at them, and winks. Ladies, But because he was focused entirely on trying to impress these girls, he didn't see what was right in front of him. A janitor, the janitor's cart, and the janitor mopping up someone's vomit. He runs into the janitor, he slips on the vomit, and he falls into the big trash can that's on the janitor's cart.
Oh, loser.
He climbs out of that trash can as fast as he can and he runs to that Spanish class. And all that effort trying to look cool, not seem weird, failed. Because for the rest of the year, he was known as Puke Boy. That's unfortunate.
You're trying to ruin my life. Ow.
Jake genuinely believed his cat was ruining his life on purpose. Her name was Mildred, and he thought his cat had one mission: to destroy his social life. Because Mildred would pee on everything. His laundry, his backpack. One time, she went into his closet and tore up a bunch of his clothes. Everything is ripped!
Ow.
And the worst part was she wasn't even sick. He thought maybe she's acting out because there's something wrong with her, so he took her to the vet, but the vet's like,
she seems incredibly healthy.
Meanwhile, Jake's showing up to school smelling like cat urine.
Dude, what does that smell?
Oh, that's just Jake.
What the heck?
Jake knew it was Mildred's fault. Then it started escalating. She was pooping in his shoes, sleeping on folded clothes right after they were washed, so everything he wore was covered in hair. For years, Jake thought, this animal hates me. Fast forward 15 years, Jake is grown now. He's got long hair and he's living in an apartment by himself, and he still has that cat Mildred. One day, he's sitting on the couch watching TV. He looks down and there's Mildred. She's very old now, and she's huge, curled up in a ball right next to him. She's obsessed with being near him in every second. And one day it clicks. She just wanted me all to herself. Now, maybe that's true, maybe it's not, but all he knows is that 15 years later, he loves that cat more than anything. She loves him. It's kind of sad and beautiful. School prank gone seriously wrong or right. This was back in 1979. Somebody glued all of the locks on all of the doors in this one high school. The teachers show up. They can't open their doors. What the heck is going on? Keys won't even go in. They couldn't even get into the supply closets because those were also glued. Within 20 minutes, the whole building is in absolute chaos. Janitors are trying to solve it. Teachers are trying to pick away at the glue. Students just standing around watching this all unfold. Eventually, the principal actually canceled school.
School is canceled until further notice, students.
Now here's the thing. This all happened during the nicest week of the year. It was sunny, warm. Everyone wanted to be outside. So instead of being upset, obviously the students were like, all right, days off. We're going to the pool.
Yeah, bo.
They were tanning, they were listening to music. Because it's the 70s, nobody can text, nobody can call, so they're calling each other. Are we still off school? Is school still canceled? Then they find out from the principal that
prom is canceled until whoever did this comes forward.
Still, nobody talks at first. 3 full days go by before the school actually replaces the locks. Then eventually, the kid that did this admitted to it. It was me. He gets expelled immediately. School's back in session. Prom is not canceled. But here's the thing. Nobody was mad at him. The students actually loved him for it because right before prom, they got a few days off to go to the pool and get their tans on to be tanned for prom. It was a perfect situation. And that sounds awesome. Younger siblings, am I right? This guy had a younger brother, and his younger brother always won. Didn't matter what happened. If they fought, he would get blamed. Something broke, he would get blamed. Parents always hit him with, you're older, you should know better. The younger brother figured this out fast, so he started using it to his advantage. He would start trouble, poking at him, annoying him, messing with his stuff. The second the older brother reacted, dude, get out of here, what's your problem? He would just scream, Mom! And then the older brother gets in trouble over and over and over again. So eventually this kid decides, all right, that's enough. Because no matter what happens, he gets punished. So he's at least gonna get a little bit of revenge. He waited until nighttime and he went into the bathroom that he shares with his little brother. He takes the toothbrush and he puts soap all inside the bristles. He then lets it kind of dry and puts it back in the cabinet. Well, when his brother brushed his teeth that night, it tastes weird, it tastes weird. He's spitting toothpaste everywhere, but his parents are annoyed. They're like, dude, just brush your teeth. Quit being a baby, your toothbrush is fine, it's normal toothpaste. No, I can't, it's disgusting. Stop being dramatic. And yes, it was simple, but the noise of his brother getting yelled at even for something so stupid as that made him happy. This makes me happy. And he slept well that night. They wanted a legendary senior prank. They snuck to the football field at midnight with a gallon of chemicals, and their plan was to spell out the graduation year in big numbers across the field with these chemicals, so the grass would die and would spell out 2025. Guys, just wait till after the weekend, it's gonna look awesome. Best prank ever. When Monday came around, it worked. Their graduation year was spelled out. But apparently this field used specialized soil. They Chemicals seeped into there and spread around. The damage was permanent. The school brings in a contractor. I know you think it's just grass, but it's not just grass. It's a $10,000 repair. We have a game in 3 days. Well, fork it up. Now, the school actually wanted to be chill about this. They were just gonna give the kids community service and call it a day. But when the insurance company came, we aren't paying a dime for this unless you call the police and file a report for vandalism. That's just how it goes. So, in order to fix the field, the school had to make it official. They had to file a police report against these kids. They all got taken down to the station, and they got a court date. And yeah, that definitely ruined their graduation.
If you can't eat it, you need to wear it.
This kid's parents had this unbelievably weird dinner rule. Every night at dinner, if you refused to eat your food, or you got full before your plate was finished, you had to wear your food. I don't want to eat my peas. Put the peas in your hair. Or, I'm too full to eat these mashed potatoes. Then rub the mashed potatoes all over your head. Apparently, this kid's parents thought this was teaching him discipline or something. One night, this kid refused to eat his green beans. I don't want to eat them. And I can't eat my spaghetti either, I'm so full. Well, then you better line up each and every one of those green beans in that ugly mullet of yours. And make sure you drape all the noodles over your head as well. You know the rules in my house. So he puts it all on his head. And the thing is, they wouldn't let him shower after this until right before he went to bed. So God forbid they had guests come over. What is he gonna say to him? Sorry, I smell and look weird. My parents made me mush all my food over my body. Oh, that's actually super messed up. Her mom's boyfriend was nice at first. Helpful, friendly. Hey, Kayla, I brought you home some McDonald's. Thanks, Mark. He treated her great. Then he married her mom. And almost overnight, he stopped talking to her completely. Hey, Mark, how's your day? He would walk past her like she wasn't even there. Then her little brother was born. And that's when it got worse. She said he basically decided that she didn't belong in the house anymore. First, he stopped cooking for her. He told the 14-year-old, if you want food, buy your own. But she also wasn't allowed to get a job. Then he would take her laundry out of the washer mid-cycle to put his own in. And he would throw her wet clothes just on the floor. Why'd you do this? He would always scream that it was because, this is my machine. I bought it. And then as a punishment, she would make her do everyone else's laundry and fold it all. He banned her friends from coming over, never let her take the classes she wanted at the park district, and then he did one thing that she said that she would never forget. She went away to school camp for 2 weeks. She came back excited to get home. She walked into her room, looked at her bookshelf. All my books are gone. Every single one. Turns out, while she was away, he had been using her book collection to start fires in the fireplace. One by one, burning them for kindling. And that is another example of a horrible, horrible person. Oh my God, my farms! This was back in the Facebook game era. This kid's mom was completely addicted to Farmville. She'd wake up in the morning, pour herself a cup of coffee, and immediately it was farming time. Harvest, 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 plant. My farm is looking great. This mom was also kind of a helicopter parent, so she would monitor her kids' activity online as well, which meant she had her kids' Facebook passwords. But more than monitoring their activity, she was also playing Farmville on their accounts. Basically a whole digital farming empire. All of my farms are doing amazing. She took it way too seriously. I'm not sure if any of you remember this or your parents, but Farmville meant business back in the day. One day the kids get grounded for some bogus reason, and the son, he's mad. I'm mad! He wants payback, so he's sitting in his room and he's thinking to himself, what does she love the most? Her farms. So one night, he logs into his Facebook, and he intentionally sabotages everything in his farm. Then he goes on the family computer. His mom's already logged in. He goes to her precious farm and completely sabotages everything there as well. Selling, deleting, harvesting too early. The next morning, he hears it. He's still in his bed. From downstairs, he hears the yelling. What happened to my farm? What happened to all my farms? Panic and fast-clicking mouse noises filled the air. She spends the whole day absolutely furious, talking about hackers, emailing Facebook. She never put two and two together that her son probably did this, but he knew, and it made him so happy. That's what you get, Mom. This teacher had a candy tax. So one of my subscribers sent me the story. It was his period 1 teacher. No food, no no drinks allowed unless it was a water bottle with a lid. But candy? Candy was allowed, with a catch. If you bring candy, I get a cut. And he meant it. There was a jar on his desk. It was a big glass jar and it was labeled candy tax. So if you had candy, you would walk in. Here you go. You would put a few candies in the jar, sit down, and you were free to eat your candy openly throughout the class. Payment received, my boy. Payment received. But if he caught you eating candy without giving him the tax first, he would walk over. I didn't see you pay the tax, young man. Here, too late. It's all mine now. And he would take all the candy you had. For the most part, all the students respected this rule. And honestly, so do I. Gotta pay the candy tax. I want to be a bird when I grow up. She was in first grade and she really wanted to be a bird when she grew up. She thought about it every single day. Well, one morning, during lunch at school, she noticed these red bumps on her arms and her neck. And she whispers to herself, "It's happening. It's happening." She thought her transformation to a bird was happening right then and there, and she was sitting down preparing for feathers to pop out of her skin. She then freaks out and grabs the nearest teacher. Mrs. Johnson? Sweetheart, what is wrong? I'm just a kid. I don't want to become a bird yet. What? The teacher had no idea what that meant. I have no idea what that means. The nurse gets called. Mom gets called. Turns out she was allergic to something she ate during lunch. And it was pretty bad. She had to be rushed to the hospital. That's crazy. This bully got smoked. So there's this kid named Mateo. He's super nice. He's quiet. And he always walks around in these old beat up New Balance shoes. And then there's Jackson. Super loudmouth. And he wears these $600 limited edition Nikes that everyone compliments. Hey, yo, check the drip. Nice shoes, Jackson. Thanks. Now, normally, Mateo ignores Jackson because Jackson's constantly making fun of Mateo's shoes. But one day in gym, Mateo had enough. Jackson was like, "Bro, you're still wearing those nasty-ass crusty shoes? You're probably super poor, you freaking idiot." Everyone laughs. Mateo doesn't. Because here's the secret. Mateo is a walking sneaker encyclopedia. He can spot a pair of fake sneakers from a mile away. And nobody knew this about him. And Jackson, those $600 shoes, Mateo's known for months that those are fake. And he's kept quiet because he's a nice guy. Until now. When the class is doing laps around the gym, Mateo sneaks out and heads to the locker room. He opens Jackson's locker because, of course, he never locks it. And he walks out to the gym floor holding the shoes like evidence. Everybody, yo, dude, those are my shoes. Since y'all want to talk about my shoes, let's talk about Jackson's shoes. He pulls out his phone and he begins comparing pictures of fake shoes to the ones that Jackson has, and they line up. So this is a fake. Look at Jackson's. See that stitching? That's fake. Look at the logo. It's completely off. It's in the wrong font. Look at the sole of the shoe. Completely discolored. These are only worth $25. Everyone's like, what? Dude? So you're a frickin' fraud then, huh, Jackson? No, I mean, yes. I mean, no. Bro, you can't clown people for their shoes when you're wearing frickin' replicas. I paid more for my New Balances than you did for those fakes. And from then on, nobody made fun of Mateo's shoes ever again. Man, yeah, legend. I don't feel good. Puke somewhere else. It's finals week, and the hallways are dead silent during class. Everyone's either taking tests or they're doing reviews. Well, on this particular day, this one kid had not felt good. His stomach feels weird. He's nauseous. By midday, he's pale, and he can't hold it in anymore. So he sprints out of the classroom to the bathroom. He turns the corner to the nearest bathroom, and the janitor cart is parked right there. One bathroom is locked, and the other one is blocked. I gotta throw up, he said. Throw up somewhere else, the janitor replies. He tries to slip past him. No, stay back. Now he's panicking, but he sees the garbage bag hanging off the janitor's cart, so he decides he's just gonna throw up in there. But the janitor says, "Shoo, get out of here!" And that's it. Kid just steps back, looks at the floor in front of him, and pukes all over it. He then backs up a bit and pukes more. Now he's leaving this like puke trail as he's stepping back. When he's done, he wipes his face and he looks at the janitor and says, "Well, looks like you're gonna have to clean that up, huh?" And the janitor is mad. But there's nothing he can do because he's the one that refused this kid a safe, clean toilet to throw up in. So now that's what he gets. When he was 10, his grandpa asked him, "What do you want for your birthday?" And he says, "A brick." "A brick? Why?" "Because my parents still have this super old TV. If I throw a brick at the TV, we'll have to get a new one." Oh, I'm just kidding. Maybe just some Pokemon cards or something. The grandpa just smiles and nods. A couple months later, this kid's birthday comes around, and there's a beautifully wrapped present on the table. Heavy, perfect corners. The kid opens it. Inside was a single brick. The grandpa's losing it. You're crazy. I can't believe you remembered. And the grandpa leans in and says real quiet to him, "Wait till your mom's in the kitchen and then waste the TV." So the kid's mom goes into the kitchen to grab the cake. The kid takes the brick, smashes it in the TV. TV is destroyed. What happened here? Now we gotta get a new TV. Yes. The grandpa took the blame for throwing the brick at the TV. "I don't know why I did that." Then the kid says, "It's okay, Mom. Please don't be mad at Grandpa. I'll help you pick out the new TV." "Okay, fine. You're right." "It's okay, Pops. You'll be okay. Just sit down and relax. I'll clean this up." The mom then leaves to grab the broom. "Nice work, kid. I love you, Grandpa." What a nice story. I'm gonna ruin your life.
Why?
There was this girl who was just super awful, always being mean to somebody, always starting rumors, and this one girl got it the worst. They were on the basketball team together and the softball team together, and this mean girl was always making stuff up about her. Kayla said she hates your coaching style.
What?
Kayla said she thinks you're the worst player on the team. She's the worst! And people were confronting her. The coaches punished her for this, and people on her team hated her.
I didn't say any of those things.
But nobody really believed her, and she knew who was behind this. Krista. Then sophomore year starts. Kayla has geometry class with Krista, and Krista starts becoming super friendly. "Hey, what's up, Kayla? How you doing today?"
Fine.
She sits next to her every day, laughing at all her jokes.
You're hilarious.
And then one day before class, Krista says, "Hey, can I please see your homework from last night? I didn't do mine. I'm just gonna copy your answers down really quick." And that's when it clicks. Krista's failing geometry, and she wants the answers. She wants to pass. So for a few weeks, Kayla lets her copy off her. "Yeah, sure, that's totally fine." Then one day, Kayla realizes she's done. They had a really big important take-home exam that Krista didn't do, but Kayla knew she was gonna ask for the answers, so she had 2 copies. The other one, she wrote everything down wrong on purpose, and when Krista asked for the answers, she let her copy the wrong one.
What? Kayla, we failed.
No, you failed. I got an A. Now that's karma. Dad, I hit 1,000 subscribers.
That's nice, son.
This kid was grinding on YouTube, and he's excited. A couple months later, Dad, I have 10,000 subscribers. Whoa, you're really putting in some work. And then, oh my God, 20,000 subscribers. Congrats, buddy. Fast forward a couple weeks, the school calls the dad. "Hi, hello there. This is the middle school. Your son hasn't been in school for 3 days. What? He is ticked off. The son comes in later. "Hey, what's up, Pops? Where were you?" "I was at school." "No, you weren't." "Yes, I was." "Give me your phone. Go to your room." He goes to his room and slams the door. Well, that was the last straw for his dad. The dad sits there for a second, fuming. His son's laptop is in the living room, and it's open and unlocked. So he goes in there. He goes to the YouTube channel, and he deletes permanently the entire YouTube channel his son has been working on. He then goes to his son's room and knocks. "What? I deleted your YouTube channel, by the way. That should teach you a major lesson."
You're kidding.
I'm not.
Oh my God, you're the worst dad ever. I hate you.
Full-blown meltdown. This kid is losing it. He's crying. The dad thinks, good, this is a lesson for him. Then later, something feels off to him, so he calls the school. Hey, yeah, I just wanted to touch base about my son's absences. You guys called me letting me know he missed the past 3 days of school, but the secretary's like, "We didn't call you, sir, and your son's been here all week. He's got perfect attendance." What? That can't be true. So now he's scrolling the call log. The number that called him wasn't the school's number, and that's when everything unfolds. A couple of kids called him as a prank. His son was at school, and he deleted his YouTube channel for nothing. But now he can't take it back, and his son didn't talk to him for months. The second he turned 18, he moved out. This kid's always the first one on the bus every single day, and he'd walk in, and he would go directly to the back right bus seat. And he would do this because about 15 minutes into the route, there was this bump in the road that the bus would hit every day. And if you were in that back seat, it would launch you up. And it was awesome. And the driver knows this, so he would hit that bump at full speed.
It's coming. Here it is.
Whoa, whoa, ha! Well, he experienced it a bunch, and then he had a brilliant idea. Every day, people ask, hey man, can I try that seat today? Bro, let me try that seat today, please. And when people ask, he starts saying, well, what do you got? One kid pulled out a Twinkie. All right, deal, have a seat. The next day, someone else says, I'll give you $2 for the seat today. Anyone got something better? I got Sour Patch Kid watermelons. Deal. He's auctioning off that seat every single morning. People are offering Doritos, money, their lunch desserts, their entire lunch. Whoever wins gets the launch, and the whole bus always counts down right before it's gonna happen. All right, you ready, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. Nice. And that, my friends, is awesome.
ফোন দিয়ে যেতেছি তুমি ফোনই ধরো না, তোমার ফোন ধরার কোনো নামই নেই, কোনো কথা, তোমার ফোন ধরো না কেন?
এবারে এক্সামের প্রিপারেশন কিরকম তোদের? আমি তো খুবই এক্সাইটেড, কারণ আমার প্রিপারেশন খুবই ভালো।
জিসান দরজা খোল।
কি বুঝতেছি না। সুন্দর মতো যাবি, ভাবির নামটা জিজ্ঞাসি। আর শোন, ভালো মতো কথা কবে, ভাবি লাগে। খালি থাপড় আর চাপাবাজি, থাপড় আর চাপাবাজি, এই বাদে আর কিছু পারছোস?
বুকিং?
বুকিং মানে বুকিং? তুমি আমার, আমি তোমার, বুকিং দিয়ে দিছি, ফাইনাল।
আমাকে বুকিং দিছে মানে আমাকে কে বুকিং দিছে দোস্ত?
তোর যে আশিক আছে না, এখন তো আমার পিছনে লাগছে।
এই এই দুলাভাই সামনে থাকলে যে সালাম দিতে হয়, আপনি শিখাই নাই তোরা? কেমন আছো তুমি?
ভালো।
আমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করবো না রক্তটা দিবি তুই? আমি কেন রক্ত দেবো? প্রেম খরচ তুই, রক্ত। আমার বন্ধু জিসান আপনাকে অনেক ভালোবাসে ভাবি, আপনার ওর রক্ত যাওয়াটা বিধা হতে দিবেন না ভাবি। তাই তো বলি, কেন ফোন যায় না? না, তোমার নাম্বারটা তাড়াতাড়ি করে বলো।
ঘন্টার পর তো গার্লফ্রেন্ডের লাগে ওয়েট করতে পারো, আর বন্ধুর লাগে 2 মিনিট ওয়েট করতে পারবা না? ও এখন আমার দোস্ত, তাইলে তো বন্ধু রিত লেগে গেল। আরে বেটা এত লাফাইস না, যেরকম শুনতেছি পরীর মতো এরকম করলে তো বেটা।
বাপ দে, কালকে 4টা দেখা হবে।
ঠিক আছে মামা।
ঠিক আছে মামা,
ঠিক মতো যা। শালা
পারলাম না রে।
রে তোর তো হাওয়াটা একটু হয়ে গেল।
তুলি, তুই তো সুন্দর নাম। আচ্ছা শোনো, আমি জিসান, আই লাভ ইউ।
আপনাদের তো চিনলাম না। আমার বড় বোনের যে দেবরগুলো আছেন তো সবাইকেই চিনি, বাট আপনাদেরকে তো চিনি না।
যাইতে দে, আর আমার খালা লাগে। কোথায় বলটা? ভালোবাসা যে এত প্যারা, এত কষ্ট, এত জ্বালা যন্ত্রণা, জানলে ভালোই বাসতাম। জিসান আর তুলির ভালোবাসার ইতিহাস, তাই রক্ত লাগবে।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম দুলা ভাই।
আরে শালা, ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। কি খবর, কেমন আছো? বান্ধবীও তো যায় না, এতবার ফোন দিলাম ফোনও ধরতেছে না। তুমি একটা ফোন দাও তো, ফোন বের করো।
কি বলেন দুলা ভাই, ও যায় নাই? কথা হইছে, ভাইয়া বলছে যে ভাইয়া আমাদের কোচিং এর সামনে আর আসবে না, আর তোকে ডিস্টার্বও করবে না।
কারণ না
কারণ না, আমি 1 থেকে 3 গুনবো না বাবা। প্রেম হইলেই হবে, প্রেম হইলে এমনি ডিফারেন্স হবে বাবা, আমার খালি ওরে দরকার।
থেকে আমাকে বাসে শান্তি সব চলে লাগেছে।
আয় হায় খাইছে কুচোটা কি তুমি?
তুমি একটা ভিডিও কল করে পাঠাও প্লিজ প্লিজ। কবে আমগো দেখা
কোচিনটা কি এটা আবার লগে এমন চিপা মাইটা দিয়েছেন? ও কেমন ঠান্ডান বউ। তারপর তো ভয় কাঁচে মুচু খায়া গেছে গা, তারপর আবার দুর্নাম করতে হইব। এই তোর কি তো দামি ফোন?
আইসে বাপ জান রাইতে ঠিকঠাক মতো ঘুমাইছে তো নাকি বাসায় গিয়া আব্বাজান রে কইবেন
কি করছো যেটা তুই বাজার রে বাজার যাও চুইছে আজকাই করছে
সম্মান সব পাঞ্চার করে দিছে।
মাগার দোষ আমারও আছে, আমিও একটু বেশি বাড়াবাড়ি করে ফেলছি। চলো না আমরা বাড়িতে ফিরে যাই।
তুমি কি পাগল হয়ে গেছো নি? এটাই আমার বাড়ি এখনতে।
চৌধুরী সাহেবের সাথে আমি কি কথা কইছি? তুমি কোনো কথাই কই নাই কা? সাজান তোমারে কইলো এত
দিচ্ছেন, হ্যাঁ দিচ্ছেন না? এলা বাইরন আমার বাড়িতে বাইরন।
একবারে হাসা করছেন আব্বাজান। আপনার পোলার এই বাড়ি থাকার কোনো বিতলামি করলে আমি তোরা ঘাড়াই, কিন্তু ভাবলাম আপনাকে একমাত্র পোলা ঘাড়াইলে আবার দিলে চোট পাই।
তুমি
শোনো, তোমাগো খানদানে যেমন কিছু নিয়ম আছে আমাগো খানদানেও আছে।
এইসব ফাত্রা নিয়ম কেউ যেন জানবার না পারে। মনে থাকবো তো? তোর যে নতুন বাবি